So have you ever noticed when life slows down, your mind speeds up? Or when life gets quiet, your thoughts become louder? And generally they're not very nice thoughts. Like if you get injured, sick, lose a job, go through a breakup, become retired, and suddenly everything you've been avoiding, or even that stuff that you never even thought was an issue, starts to just flood your mind. And generally it's stuff from your past that never got resolved, stuff maybe you're kind of ashamed about, old sad memories, prehistoric trauma, unresolved thoughts. They all just rise up to the top, creating self-doubt and poor self-esteem. So we do what is comfortable and familiar to kind of relieve and distract ourselves and to find some comfort. So it could be Netflix, could be food, could be a few drinks, maybe a lot of drinks, could be a few ciggies, maybe a few herbal jazz ciggies. But after a while, these distractions don't work the same, or they just have less of an impact. And you're left with all the stuff you've been avoiding and burying for years. So looking back now with hindsight, I've really noticed that my mood dips and my negative thoughts arise whenever life in general just gets quiet or slows down. I really noticed it when I broke this collarbone. At first I thought the worst part was the general lack of mobility, like not being able to drive or just do the general stuff that you just take for granted. But what really hit me was losing my outlets. No mental escape routines, no gym, no rugby with the lads, no circuit training with my pals, no just going to the cinema for a spin, no gigs, no general distractions, just me stuck with my thoughts and my past trauma, my bad decisions, my unfulfilled promises to myself, all this mental muck just going around in a loop for months and months until I realised something big. This stuff is always here, ready to pop up whenever life throws you big, dirty curveballs, facing us into this quiet period. And we can actually use this time and this phase, this uncomfortable, stuck feeling, as actually an opportunity to finally get to the core. So this won't happen again. Seriously. So a little warning here, this isn't easy, but it's completely life-changing. So in today's video, it's going to be a deep dive into the negative cycles that generally affect us all when life slows down and what we can do to actually just free ourselves and eventually just get rid of it. So we'll look at the initial phase or catalyst that sets off all this when life slows down, why this happens and what we can actually do to stop it. Okay, so the initial phase is something that happens. Something that forces your hand into slowing down. It could be life-changing, such as a breakup, retirement, losing a job, getting injured, getting sick, COVID, the kids leaving home, whatever. Or it could be just that work gets quiet for a while, or even sometimes a holiday periods where you have no routine, like Christmas, for example. And at the start, you're just adjusting. Whatever has happened to you hasn't really sunk in yet. And in a way, it's for better or for worse, it is novel and new. So our first thing to do when this happens is to retreat to what's comfortable because, hey, why not? It's what we do. And it's not like you're doing anything else. But yeah, this is actually the start of the numbing phase. So when life forces our hand or forces to stop, our first instinct is comfort and relief. Food, TV, social media, video games, alcohol, herbal jazz, whatever floats your boat. And at first it helps, it's fun, it's distracting, it helps us relax, and that's all well and good until it isn't. At first when something big like this happens, all you can really do is just go with it, honestly. And it's not so bad in the beginning, it feels new and novel. After my injury, I couldn't train, I had all these grand plans to write and draw up my non-broken side, read more books, be super productive. But then all the novelty wears off and you're just left with this boredom and frustration. That's when the comfort seeking kicks in. I mean, after what we've all been through, we deserve a treat, yeah? A little comfort food here, some mindless TV there, but before you know it, it's all you're doing. You're not adequately replacing that stimulation that you got from your job, your relationship, your college, your course. All this underlying untreated anxiety and depression and trauma starts to rise. And you start to spiral. So why does this happen when life grinds to a slow or maybe sudden halt due to injury, illness, work, relationships, etc.? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us stay busy to outrun our unresolved shit. But when we're forced to stillness, we've got nowhere to hide. You see, a lot of us, without consciously realising it, use our jobs, our relationship, college, etc. as a distraction to get us through life. There's also security interaction involved with all this, which is very crucial. For me, when my collarbone broke, my OCD got worse. Intrusive thoughts, compulsions, Things I could normally keep in check when I was training hard around people, but in isolation they hit me full force. And I realised it's something pretty deep. This isn't new. It was always here. I just managed to kind of drown it out. I'm not alone in this. Think about how many people got hit hard during COVID. Lockdowns, isolation, suddenly all their buried crap comes up. The same thing happens in breakups, layoffs, during winter months, retirement. When you stop moving, your mind catches up. The National Library of Medicine reported that retirement often involves major changes in social roles and social networks, as well as changes to tangible assets like income and health insurance, which all impact risk and management of depression. It also reported that many people have been prescribed antidepressants after retiring when they never took them in their whole life. Okay, so the first thing I'd recommend here is if the thought is severe and you feel you need help, get professional help if you can. Otherwise, acknowledge what's happening without panic. The first thing is to bring attention to your awareness, to recognize that you're not feeling yourself. Most people think, why am I suddenly feeling like this? What's wrong with me? What's going on? Why am I thinking about that thing that happened when I was 10 years old? Am I going nuts? Am I going crazy? What's going on? What's going on is that without these distractions, you're finally hearing all the noise that was already there and what's been bubbling underneath for years. But remember, as uncomfortable as it may be, all these thoughts may be, they're not dangerous, they're just thoughts. They're not facts and they're certainly not real. So use this time to address all this mental muck in a compassionate way by first validating ourselves by saying, I'm going through a difficult time and my brain is dealing with this in the only way it knows, and that's okay. Next, I would start some compassion-focused therapy work as soon as possible. Absolute game changer. Now, this will be weird for those of you that hear compassion and think, screw that. I'm not going to go around hugging people and being all lovey-dovey. Guys, that's not compassion. Compassion is basically being respectful and sound to yourself. It's like having a buddy that can help you reframe and relook at all of that stuff that plagues you and help yourself get sorted through this difficult time. So compassion is not excusing bad behavior, letting yourself off the hook, self-pity, self-indulgence. Compassion is actually understanding why you feel this way without judgment. It's about helping yourself through it instead of beating yourself up. It's also about giving yourself permission to struggle, but also guiding yourself towards healing. Before diving into techniques, let's address why compassion is crucial for dealing with these difficult emotions when life actually slows down. So most people are their own worst enemy. I certainly am. We all have this inner critic that absolutely tears us apart when we're struggling. I should be handling this better. Why am I so weak? Other people have it worse. I should just suck it up. I'm being overly dramatic. But here's the truth. The part of you that's struggling is not weakness. It's unresolved crap. It's confused, it's hurt, it's wounded. You wouldn't scream at a friend who was struggling, so like, why the hell are you doing it to yourself? When life slows down and negative thoughts flood in, they're actually not random. They're coming from somewhere deep down, and the key is to trace them back and understand. What do these thoughts remind me of? Where are they coming from? Where have I felt this before? What's the core fear underneath? What is it I'm actually feeling? So for example, let's say when life slows down, you start feeling restless and guilty. Instead of just accepting that, I feel like shit, ask why. Maybe as a kid, you're only praised when you're being productive, and now as an adult, doing nothing equals feeling worthless. The problem is not laziness, it's an old subconscious belief that your worth is basically tied to productivity. Once you can see that, you can start to challenge it. Whenever a strong negative thought pops up, just write it down and then ask yourself, where did I first learn this? Is this 100% true, or is it just some silly old belief? What would I say to my best buddy who felt this way? This simple exercise alone can just separate you from the negative thoughts. So according to compassion-focused therapy, our emotions are controlled by 3 systems. So you've got your threat system, which is basically on all the time. It's anxiety, fear, and self-criticism. It's your brain's survival mode. It detects danger, but it also sees problems everywhere, even when there isn't any. This is why self-criticism feels automatic. It's your brain's attempt to kind of fix things and just stay on guard. The do more, get more system, the drive system. So the drive system is what makes us chase goals, work hard, and feel good when we succeed. But when we're forced to slow down due to injury, job loss, sickness, COVID, this system crashes, making us feel lost and depressed. And then the last one is the soothing system, which basically none of us really have turned on. This is what balances the threat and drive system so we don't spiral. And this is one that basically is neglected by so many people. It's about self-kindness, it's about rest and feeling safe even when we're not achieving. But here's the problem. Most people overuse their threat and drive systems and just neglect their soothing system. That's why when we slow down, it feels unbearable. It exposes how weak our self-soothing skills actually are. So ask yourself, which system do I live in most of the time? Am I constantly in threat mode or in drive mode? What can I do to activate my soothing system? Self-compassionate talk. Literally say, I'm struggling and that's okay. I don't need to attack myself over this. Breathwork or meditation, which calms down the nervous system, is very, very good too. Connecting with people, sharing struggles also reduces emotional weight. Slow, intentional movement, like a walk or even stretching can help. We all have an inner critic, that voice that tells us we're not enough. So the goal isn't to silence it, it's to replace it with a kinder voice or just basically work with it. So try this. Imagine you're talking to a younger version of yourself, maybe about 8 or 10 years old. If that kid was struggling, would you call him useless, call him stupid? Would you tell him they're weak? Would you say, just suck it up, will you, and just get over it? Of course you wouldn't. You'd be kind. You'd help them. So next time you start tearing yourself down, pause and picture your younger self stand in front of you. And instead of criticizing, like, just say what you would say to them. Like, this is going to feel weird at first, but it's actually going to rewire your brain over time. When the heavy emotions hit, our instinct is to escape. So like Netflix, alcohol, overworking, smoking, etc. Instead, try a self-compassion break. So pause and acknowledge, I'm struggling right now. Validate without judgment. This is hard, but it's okay to feel this way. What's the gentlest thing I can do for myself right now? Even 60 seconds of this interrupts the downward spiral. So the more you practice it, guys, the easier it's going to get. There's a brilliant workbook that I would wholly recommend, and a workbook that actually helped me become a different person. And it's this one, Compassionate Mind Training Workbook. Get this book and tip away with it bit by bit. It will really help you build a solid foundation and get to the root causes of whatever you're battling with. Also, here are some more immediate tools to help if the thoughts are really intense while you get used to the whole compassionate mind training or compassionate focus therapy. So these are labeling first. So when a difficult thought or emotion comes up, don't try and fight it immediately. Just pause and label it as anxiety, old memory, fear, self-criticism. Labeling helps to separate you from the emotion without getting tangled up, and it's been a game changer for me. At first we escape Netflix, food, doom scrolling. That's okay to the point. The trick is to start swapping out a few numbing moments with something reflective. If you usually binge TV at night, try pausing for just 10 minutes beforehand. Just sit in silence, take out your journal down a few thoughts, ask yourself, what am I actually feeling? And then go ahead and watch your show guilt-free. It's these small changes that make such a massive difference. Bring movement back in some way. Like, you don't need to go run around like a headless chicken. You don't need a full gym routine. Just a little bit of movement just helps your nervous system so much. Even if you're injured, you can do small things. You can walk, take deep breaths, do some stretching. The goal isn't fitness, it's getting out of your head and into your body. So that's it for today, guys. If you're in a phase like this where life is slowed down and your mind is just going crazy, just know it's not a setback, it's an opportunity. The stuff coming up now has always been there, and this might be your chance to finally face it and to show it the door for good. So have you ever felt this way during a hard time? If so, please let me know below. And also, if you've enjoyed today's video and you want more of this kind of content, let me know and I'll get to it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.